Hi everyone, I'm an enemy champion, and I'm an indie game developer that makes content for games that my community votes on. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make sparkles like this, how to make it so that anyone's a healer, and how to put the people to sleep. To get started, make a custom game, go to the lobby, go to settings, go to the workshop. Right here, you'll see I have 4 different rules. You can create rules by clicking the plus button, and you can delete them by clicking the checkbox and going to the trash can. These 4 rules, they are something that I've created in the past, and you can watch all my previous workshop guides in the playlist I'll put up in the link below. With that knowledge, you should be aware that a lot of things have changed with the workshop. There's a lot of new functionality and a lot of bugs have been fixed. So that's why I'm creating this update here to show some of the best practices. For all players, we're going to be using ability 2 to heal over time. For Pharah specifically, if they use ability 1, they're going to go to sleep. For the host, if they hold the interact key, we're going to create the sparkle effects. For the host again, once they let go of the interact key, we got to delete those sparkles. For all players, we're checking ongoing for each player, for all teams, and for all players. We're checking if they're holding the button that we want, which is ability 2, if they're alive, and if they've spawned in the world. Then we're going to have them play some effects and start healing. Play effect is an effect creator that will delete itself upon its use. So you just have to do play effect, and that's it. It'll be visible to all players. You'll do a good explosion effect. We'll make it yellow, and we'll do position of event player. Position of event player is very important here with play effect, because if you do just the event player, it won't be visible to the player themselves if they're in first person. So what you need to do is do position of event player if you want it to be visible to them as well. In this case, I'm using a radius of 1, which is actually the scale, so it's at its normal scale. If you do 2, that's double the size, and 3 is triple the size. For play effect, again, you can also do sounds. So we're going to do position of event player, but you could just do event player for sounds. The radius is now the loudness, and 100 is the maximum volume, 0 is no volume at all. Start heal over time, we have the event player healing themselves, and they get credit for it, which goes to their ult charge this way. They'll heal over 2 seconds, and it'll be 100 healing per second. For Pharah, their first ability is going to put them to sleep. So ongoing for each player, for all teams, as long as they are a Pharah, and you can just scroll down here and make sure that they're a Pharah that way for player. If they're using ability 1 is different than if they're just pressing the button for ability. Now, the reason we're using if they're using ability 1 is just to showcase that there is that difference. If they're using ability 1, then you don't have to manage the cooldowns for it. You don't have to micromanage to make sure that they're not asleep, they're not hacked, that they're not frozen, they're not downed in some way. So we're just making sure that they are actually using the ability. We have set status, and we're putting them to sleep, and we're not giving anyone credit for putting them to sleep. So they're going to be asleep for 3 seconds, and that's it. For the host, we now have a create effect here, and you'll notice that player, it's just for all players. So the way that we're checking if they're a host is actually in here in the conditions. Host player is the event player. We're also checking that they're holding the button we want. We're making sure they're alive still. We're making sure they've still spawned. Now we create an effect. Create effect is different than play effect in that you now also have to destroy the effect. It's also different because you have a different array of options as far as what types of effects you can create. Another way that it's different is that you can put it at the position of the event player and it will still show. Yet another way that is different is reevaluation. So what a reevaluation is if you want it to update the location of it. So if the person is walking somewhere, it will constantly update with them and their location. So you could just put in a specific vector in here, which is a world coordinate, and it will just always be in this location. But if I want it to follow me, I'll just put in the event player. You can also do position of event player here, or put in a variable. Now that we've created that effect, we have to delete it. So for every player that's on all teams and any player, as long as they are the host player, we're going to destroy that effect. But it has to meet one of these 2 conditions. And this looks different. What is this? This is an OR condition. So we've got 2 different conditions in here, and if either one of these are true, then we can do this. So if they're dead or they're not holding the button, we'll destroy this. Now, not holding the button is because you can see it's got a little exclamation point here, but let me click this and you'll see it looks even weirder. Look at the left-hand side to start. So this is a hierarchy. The first one here, this is the primary thing we're looking at. This is the OR function, and it's OR one of these 2 things. So, or the first thing is if they're dead, or the second thing is if they're not holding the button that we want. If either one of these things is true, either they're not holding the button or they're dead, then it's going to fire off and destroy the effect. There you go. Now you know how to create custom abilities in Overwatch. Thank you all for watching. You can also check out my workshop guide playlist for things I've already covered. If you'd like to see more content like this, or if you'd like to learn more about my game development journey and vote on content I make sure you subscribe and come join my Discord. I'll see you in the next video.